I just want it to be over. I just want it to be done. I've told myself this a lot. I mean, we wait all winter for summer and all summer for winter. We wait all of school to go on break. We wait a major part of our work life to get a promotion. We wait for her soft spot on our heart to go away. It's not just that we're waiting, we're yearning, not for a miracle, but for something that eases the regret, pain, worries we've compounded in this timeline. Something that just feels not bad in general. It almost feels like I go into a dark tunnel, just barely able to see the light at the end of it. It feels painful, breaking at my will, feels like my embarrassment and tedious trauma follows me along the way. I get to the end, see the light for a split second, like I left the outside blinds my eyes, but in a good way. That's right, I officially feel happy, but not just happy. The feeling that I've left my problems at the end of that tunnel. I'm free. That happiness is just an initial realization that I was done. But I feel life started feeling dull after. Not painful like before, dull. That light faded away quickly and hasn't came back. That feeling that came and left very abruptly, and I barely even thought about it in the moment. It was almost like something was still happening, and now nothing is there. No reassurance, no one to care. It's not that the time I was done with something before moving to the next was just a break or a small moment of happiness. It was the only way I felt normal, and now it's gone. I'm still currently on spring break, and I almost feel worse than I was when I was still in school. When I was in school, I felt like everything was breaking me, not just boring me, just making me think of what I could have in just a few weeks. Those heavy thoughts I had kept getting worse. I was waiting for the time I could get home and release those thoughts like they didn't matter anymore. Spring break didn't exactly release any heavy thoughts I had before. It made me think about them more. I instead reflected on them and thought of what I could have done to release those feelings earlier. I realized that when something's over, it makes it more clear, more options appear, and comes more regrets than you have ever thought of. The same thing happened in the situation when she was always there. Gave reassurance, made me feel love, existent, like I truly mattered to someone. Then things disconnected, slower replies, different energy, we grew apart. When that disappeared, more heavy energy surrounds you. Thoughts start to evade your brain without notice. While you're in the shower, while in bed looking at the ceiling, it's the thoughts of what we had and the things that made moving on feel nearly impossible. Not just about her as a person in general, but the structure of my living life with her in it, the version of my life with her in it, the version of myself that still had her. The wake up, good morning texts, random impulse movie watching, impulse food orders. After something like this would happen, you start to not just feel lonely again, but missing a part of you that maybe you could have improved on before. But you feel that you weren't enough, you feel easily replaceable. Maybe you were too much or too weak. It made it hard to let go. Was the only time you felt like you truly mattered to someone. They were there to ask if I was okay. They felt meaningful in my world, in my presence. But the most important of all, they made me feel conscious in a world full of attention grabbing and people with no care anymore. It eventually ends, and you start to reflect, go in that state of grief and despair. You start to see more, realize more of what you actually had, what she was actually like, what actually was holding the connection together. Clarity starts appearing after it ends. Realize that a lot of times when meaningful things end is when things start to become more clear. You start to reflect and think that maybe she only kept showing up because she wanted the feeling I gave her, the attention, the care. Times you showed it up in her life because she was a priority. If the sides switched, I needed the same love I was giving off. I needed to receive that same love, attention, care. As soon as I needed what I gave, the energy changed. She didn't show up the same way I did. This is a realization that only comes when a connection disappears, when what I had actually becomes what I had. You start to realize more about what you had. The harsh truths start to become more clear. Clarity is an important part of moving on. It is a part where, of the end, the problem isn't necessarily that I just wanted to be finished. I just always want what's next. We as humans constantly look forward to things and want to rush the time frame we're always already living in. I think I've realized what the problem was and how to actually fix it. We live in a society where we always feel rushed, walking with purpose all of the time, have somewhere to be. We are taught that we need to be more disciplined and more scheduled. I said to myself, if I can reach that number that I put on a random date on a calendar, I will finally be free. Every day was counted on a calendar and progress was always tracked. The days almost didn't matter anymore and they were just marks on a piece of paper. The worst part of it all is that I was just scrolling through my life faster than any addiction ever could. I was counting the days and making those days almost feel like they ruined the entire week. Felt like I had no other days that mattered. I eventually realized how much it was destroying me trying to count those days until I could be free. I wouldn't let myself feel, I wouldn't let myself have its turn to speak after my actions. I ripped through the calendars and numbers that were determining my fulfillment. They were destroying me, and that's eventually when the mindset shift. After that mindset shift, mornings actually felt like mornings. Evenings felt good instead of shameful. Instead of counting the days till the weekend and finding ways I could escape myself, until then, I got rid of this progress system and I was counting and determining my days. What I knew I had to do was sit there with my own thoughts. Instead of living life needing to do something or having to escape with an escape route, I sat there with boredom, peace, and my own thoughts. Instead of escaping my messed up self, I sat there with that messed up self, the one I needed to fix all of the broken pieces, and just said to him, "The day isn't over yet. There is still more. You don't need to leave this one." My whole personality wasn't just finding myself, it was the person trying to find a fix, trying to quit. When I ended that label of myself, a layer of emptiness I couldn't even explain came around, and it made me define my true identity. It forced me to ask myself what I actually enjoyed. Who do I want to attract? What person do I want to be when I'm done battling this thing? People taught me that recovery is just a straight line, but it's like driving on a shaky, unstable road. I learned to be bored without finding something that I could destroy myself with. I found the real solution. It was just filling my days with ordinary things, which is what separated myself from the old habits I had. Not because I was tracking progress or counting days, but because I was genuinely living. They don't talk about how forgiveness is really the hardest part. I felt I can never change. Shame only keeps you stuck. Forgiveness is what keeps you moving. I didn't need any number or milestone telling me if I deserved forgiveness or not. I just looked at what was in myself and moved on from that. Every mistake felt like feedback finally, not failure. I began to finally trust myself again. And because I showed up, not because I was perfect. Changing isn't a countdown, it's a lifestyle. It's waking up to the sun shining through the bedroom window, going to work/school, laughing with someone, and realizing that during that day you never thought about the old habits once. And that's freedom, not excitement, not milestones, just peace in a regular day. If you're dealing with this battle, just forget about the numbers, the milestones. Today is enough. You don't need to earn forgiveness. You just need to practice living. Every wake up is just another chance to start again. You don't need to count the days anymore. Just show up for this one. The thing about changing or healing is that you don't even notice it's happening. You just wake up one day, it kind of sneaks up on you, doing your normal habits, and you realize you haven't thought about the old habits in months. You might laugh it off, not because life got easier, but because you stopped watching and fighting time. Recovery isn't a straight line. It's actually a peaceful walk. You might stumble, you might have to sit down and rest, but you keep moving. That really is the lesson of this. Life is not about tracking perfection, it's about collecting presence. The light hints of life you've been ignoring, the sound of rain, birds chirping, the sound of people actively having fun and interacting. They're starting to come back. They were the reward all along. If you're here listening to this and you're in this battle of waiting painfully to be done, just realize that you don't owe anyone a number. You don't need to prove how far you've come. You just need to keep choosing to begin and move forward. You may stumble, but you can still start over. And if you care enough to do so, you're already healing. You just need to pick back up and write a new story. You keep yearning to be done or make a milestone. You just need to stop counting the days and start creating them. Start living. Stop practicing battling time and numbers to escape the old habits, thinking of which days mattered and which didn't. Just take a look around. This is your life, your moment that exists right here, right now. All of it matters. The presence you've been ignoring will reveal its impact someday. You just need to live. You need to stop battling time. Stop trying to find an escape from yourself. Make this moment count.